All right, let's get into it. Big news dropped recently, and if you blinked, you might have missed it. Mike Edwards is back in Kansas City. Yeah, that Mike Edwards. The guy who helped this team win a Super Bowl not that long ago. It's official. The Chiefs have signed the veteran safety to a one-year deal. And I gotta say, this is one of those signings that might not light up headlines, but it definitely matters. Now, if you're a real Chiefs fan, and I know you are, this name should ring a bell. Edwards was a key piece of the 2023 Super Bowl run. He didn't just wear the jersey, he made plays when it mattered. And what makes this even more exciting is that this isn't just some random free agent pickup. We're talking about a guy who already knows the culture, knows the system, and most importantly, he knows what it takes to win here. Let's back up for a second and look at his journey. Mike Edwards came into the league with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and made an early name for himself as a ball-hawking safety. He was part of that dominant Bucs defense that shut down Mahomes and the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Yeah, that stung. But it also proved he was built for the big stage. Since then, he's bounced around a bit. Had stints with the Titans and the Bills, but nothing really stuck like it did in KC. And maybe that's the point. Some players just fit better in certain environments. For Edwards, Kansas City seems to bring out the best in him. And hey, let's not forget, this guy's a two-time Super Bowl champion. That kind of experience doesn't grow on trees. He's played in 83 career games, started in 30, and has always been a solid contributor. He might not be a headline name like Chris Jones or L'Jarius Sneed, but make no mistake, Edwards brings value, especially to a locker room that's chasing a third ring. Let me throw this one to you. Do you remember Mike Edwards from his last stint with the Chiefs? Or does he stand out more from that Bucs Super Bowl win? Drop your answer in the comments right now. I want to see where you remember him best. And speaking of value, let's talk about why this move by Brett Veach might be one of the smartest under-the-radar plays of this offseason. All right, now let's get into why this signing is more important than it might seem at first glance. On paper, you're talking about a one-year deal for a veteran safety who probably won't start, but when you look a little closer, you'll see exactly why this is what we call a sneaky good signing. Mike Edwards isn't being brought back to be the star of the show. He's here to be the insurance policy, the security blanket, and the chess piece that Spags can move around when things get tough. That alone already gives this move some weight. Because let's be real, over a 17-game regular season plus playoffs, depth isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. And here's the beauty of it. Edwards already knows Steve Spagnuolo's system. No adjustment period, no learning curve. He steps onto the field and knows his role from day one. That familiarity can't be overstated, especially in a defense that thrives on disguising coverages and using complex rotations. It means Spags can trust him right away, which opens the door to more creative formations, like those 3 safety looks that we've seen used to perfection in key moments. Let's also talk about flexibility. Edwards might not be your starter, but if something happens to Brian Cook or Jaden Hicks, you're not scrambling. You're plugging in a proven veteran who's done it at a high level, both in Kansas City and elsewhere. That's the kind of move that separates good teams from great ones. And you know what else makes this move smart? It's low risk. This isn't some bloated multi-year deal. It's a one-year contract that likely came cheap. You're not overcommitting, but you're boosting the overall quality of your secondary room. Brett Veach keeps doing Brett Veach things, finding value where others aren't looking. So now I'm curious about what you think. If you had to grade this signing, what would you give it? A, B, C, D, or even an F? Drop your grade down in the comments. Let's see how the kingdom feels about the return of Mike Edwards. Now, if you're wondering what kind of production we can actually expect from him this season, don't worry, we've got receipts. Let's dive into the numbers next. So now that we've covered why the signing makes sense, let's talk about what Mike Edwards actually brings to the field, because the numbers paint a pretty compelling picture. Let's start with 2023, the year he played a crucial role during the Chiefs' Super Bowl run. Even though he wasn't the full-time starter, Edwards still racked up 51 total tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 5 passes deflected, and 1 interception. Solid, right? But more than just stats, those numbers came in high-pressure moments. He showed up when it mattered. Go back and watch some of those late-season and playoff games. He wasn't just filling a spot, he was making plays. Whether it was getting a hand on a third-down pass or forcing a ball carrier out of bounds short of the sticks, Edwards brought energy and awareness to every snap. Now compare that to his time in Tampa Bay. In 2022, he recorded 82 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 3 pass breakups, and 2 picks. That was probably his most complete season, and it showed his ability to play both in the box and deep in coverage. Even in 2021, he had 3 interceptions and 7 pass breakups. So when you look at the whole picture, this isn't just a guy who knows the system. He's been productive multiple times on multiple teams. Let's be honest, the Chiefs have a strong secondary, but there's room for guys like Edwards. He's not competing with Cook or Hicks for a starting job right now, but he's going to be breathing down the neck of anyone who slips. He raises the floor of the position group and brings that steady veteran presence. And here's the fun part. He's, not even being asked to carry the load. If he gives you anything close to his 2023 numbers again, that's a win. If he improves on them, that's a bonus. So I've got a question for you. Do you think Mike Edwards can match or even beat his numbers from 2023 this season? Or will we see a drop-off? Hit the comments and let me know what your gut says. Now let's zoom out a little and look at how this move shifts the depth chart and what it means for the future of the safety position in Kansas City. All right, now let's break down exactly where Mike Edwards fits into this current Chiefs roster and what it means for the safety room moving forward. First off, let's start at the top. Bryan Cook is expected to be the leader at the safety position. He's not flashy, but he's consistent. And consistency is gold in the back end of a defense. Then there's Jaden Hicks, the rising talent. You and I both saw flashes from him last season. He's physical, he's learning fast, and he's going to get more opportunities in 2025. But here's the thing. He's still young, still developing. That's exactly why bringing in a guy like Mike Edwards makes perfect sense. He's not here to steal anyone's job. He's here to stabilize the unit. Think of him as the bridge between the present and the future. If Cook or Hicks goes down or needs a breather, you've got a reliable vet ready to go. No panic, no scrambling for practice squad depth. Just plug and play. Now, what about the draft? I know some fans are wondering if this signing means Kansas City won't take a safety. I wouldn't go that far. The Chiefs might still grab one late on day 2 or early day 3. But with Edwards in the mix, that rookie doesn't have to start right away. That's huge. You can let the young guy develop, learn the scheme, and maybe take over in 2026. And let's talk cap for a second. With Patrick Mahomes, Chris Jones, and other stars locked into major deals, Kansas City has to find budget-friendly contributors. Edwards fits that mold perfectly. Solid production, veteran leadership, and likely signed for a modest salary that won't hurt the cap. In short, this move doesn't just help now. It gives Veach and the front office flexibility going forward. They're not boxed into a must-draft-a-starter situation at safety. That's the kind of long-term planning that keeps this team competitive year after year. So let me throw this one your way. Do you think the Chiefs should still add another safety in the draft, or is the position good enough with Cook, Hicks, and Edwards holding it down? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Curious to see if you feel confident in this trio or want more depth added. And now, let's take this conversation into the locker room, because Mike Edwards brings more than stats. He brings championship mentality, and that's our next topic. All right, let's wrap this up by talking about something you can't measure with stats or Pro Football Focus grades: leadership. Because what Mike Edwards brings to the Chiefs' locker room goes way beyond tackles and pass deflections. This guy is a 2-time Super Bowl champion. He's been there. He's felt that pressure. He's played under the bright lights and delivered. And when you've got a team like Kansas City with a mix of elite talent and younger guys still finding their way, that kind of voice in the room is priceless. Think about someone like Jaden Hicks. Tons of potential, right? But still early in his NFL journey. Having a veteran like Edwards in the film room at practice, on the sideline, pointing things out, calming guys down, showing by example, that kind of mentorship accelerates development. That's what keeps the championship window wide open. And let's not forget the last time Mike Edwards suited up in red and gold. Super Bowl LV. He came up big. 7 total tackles, impact plays, steady presence, no hesitation, no fear. He played like a guy who'd done it before because he had. That kind of confidence radiates, man. Younger players feed off it. And here's what I love most. This move is so on brand for the Chiefs. You've heard Coach Reid say it. The door is always open for guys who know the system, who respect the culture, and who want to win. Mike Edwards checks every box. So let me ask you something to close out the video. If you were the GM, would you bring back more former Chiefs who know the playbook and have that winning DNA? Who would be your pick? Tell me in the comments. I'll be diving in to see your takes. Thanks for hanging out. And don't forget, here at Total Chiefs, we're always watching for that next big move. See you in the next video.